matter, mate?
It's even worse when it rains. Sometimes I can't hardly even do the milking. And my hips, oh, that's sore.
Well, I can give you some butazolidine for the pain, but try and stay out of the cold and damp, yes?
You've not been on a phone very much, have you, Doctor?
No.
You could just write us out 2 lots. It'd save me having to come down here all the time.
Well, you come in every Thursday for the market, don't you?
Yeah, but... it's John, Dr. Goodwin. He's in every bit as much pain as me, but he's that pig-headed. He'd sooner eat knives than seek help.
Arthritis?
In his knees, and his hips, and his back.
Well, I'm not sure prescribing sight unseen is a particularly good idea. I tell you what, why don't I pop up and see him? Like you said, I've not been on the phone very much.
I want you to find a phone and ring the Royal. Tell them to expect an emergency. Tell them Mr. Hopkirk said. Now go on, run! Right. All right, lad. All right, that's it. Hang on a second.
Brave boy.
Good lad, good lad. Let me just get this out of here. Right. OK. All right, lad.
Come on.
That's a good lad. That's a good lad. That's it. I'll just get you. OK.
Oh, my.
No, don't touch it. No, can't leave it in. It's best let them do it at the hospital. Let's just get him out.
Come on, mate.
Get him in the van.
You're going to be OK, mate.
Come on, let's get him there. Come on.
It is common knowledge that your receptionist is no better than she should be and is likely giving out names of other trollops over the switchboard.
What's this?
We've had an anonymous letter.
Well, look here, you read it.
Dr. Wetherell tries to cover the smell of alcohol with cheap scent, but it does not work. How your patient survived being treated by an alcoholic and that wife murderer Ormerod, I do not know.
I'm surprised you find it amusing.
No, Mr. Harper, we find it beneath our contempt.
Well, there's no obvious swellings in the joints, so I'd say it is rheumatism. OK, I will double that prescription. So how have you been otherwise?
Tired.
Tired? You're exhausted, man. Look at him, Doctor. He can't hardly sit up straight as that done in.
How long have you been like this?
About 30 years off and on, since I took on the farm.
That is not true. 30 years ago, you could pitch a hayrick, you could down a gallon of ale at a harvest supper and still be up for early morning milking without breaking stride.
That's enough, Mary.
I just want to get him to retire, Doctor, before this place kills him. Look at him. Talk to him.
Well, I can't offer that sort of advice. What I can say, though, is that I can't cure rheumatism and it won't cure itself. Now, I can keep the pain down, but quite frankly, your lifestyle doesn't help it very much.
See?
Perhaps you...
No! Now that's enough.
Morning, Sebastian.
Morning. Lovely day for the race.
What race?
The human race, of course. Now, darling, this bench is for the benefaction of all. So...
Just take your life easy and stop all
I know, right?
be happy my way.
Alan!
When tension starts mounting and you've lost count of the pains you missed, just try hard and see why they're not worrying me. The last on my list.
What happened? Lad jumped in the pond. Some more railings under the water's come out through his leg. Name? Paul.
Hello, Paul. I'm Dr. Ormerod. Yes. Got yourself in a bit of a pickle, haven't you? Never mind. We'll soon sort you out.
Is he going to be OK?
Of course he will. Come on.
Ken. Well done.
Freelancing as an ambulance driver now, Hopkirk?
Well, needs must, Mr. Harper.
Quite.
Mr. Rose is standing by.
The flower of St. Aidan's. blooms once more for my delight.
What on earth?
We just found her outside, matron. She looks ever so poorly.
Right, I'll take over. Treatment room, please, Alan. And then if you could find Dr. Wetherell for me.
Excuse me. I was just wondering, I suppose a cup of tea would...
I'll see what I can do.
Lovely girl. Surprised somebody didn't try to take it out themselves.
I were going to, but that bloke said not.
Can help go.
Obviously got more sense than I thought. All the time it's in place, the railing acts like a plug. You try to move it and it bleeds like bilio.
Right, 2 pints cross-match, please.
Right.
Double quick time, please, staff nurse.
Aren't you going to do anything?
Not yet, no.
She's quite toxic and dehydrated. It's pretty nasty tonsillitis, I'd say.
What's your name?
Well, she's very weak. I'd say she probably hadn't eaten for a couple of days, and she's been sleeping rough too, by the looks of her.
And the smell of her. Can you tell us your name, dear?
I'd like her on the ward, please, matron.
Of course. I'd like her cleaned up first.
We're off.
About time, too. Our problem, ladies and gentlemen, is that while the spike is embedded in the muscle, it lies in close proximity to the femoral artery. And what happens if we tear the femoral artery, Dr. Ormerod?
He may bleed to death.
Precisely. So, let us proceed with a glad heart and a peaceful mind. Swab, please, nurse.
There. That's better, isn't it? Now we'll just have a quick brush of your hair and you'll be quite the prettiest girl on the ward. No? Oh, come on. Don't want to keep it covered up under a grubby old... Back in a sec. Don't go away. Matron. I didn't do anything, honestly. It just sort of... Well, it just came away on my hand.
Oh, no.
I'm terribly sorry, Matron.
It's not your fault. Microsporum orduini, Nurse Beaumont, otherwise known as scalp ringworm. Most contagious and most unwelcome in my hospital. Scrub your hands the minute you've finished with her.
It was a fabulous place, though. Like how you imagined a farmhouse to be when you were a kid.
What an old romantic you are.
Well, you know what I mean.
Tell me something. Did the Bryars look like they were having a fabulous time? Or did they look weary, depressed, and fed up with the whole thing?
Well, yes, but they have both got rheumatism. She's got arthritis. Neither of them are getting any younger. What are you trying to say?
Just that farming, especially here, it's not the idyllic frolic through daisy-filled meadows that some people think. It's longer hours than we do, back-breaking work in all weathers, low rewards. Depression is rife among farmers, and...
And depression generates aches and pains, especially in the back.
It's just a thought.
Steady as she goes. I think a bit of a twist. Right. Ready for the bleed, staff nurse? Could have done with me at Rorke's Drift.
They totally ruined that pair of kicks. They were dry clean only then as well, you know. They shut to nought.
Dad.
I'm sure he'd buy you a new pair if you said. Anyway, good news about boat trip, innit?
Yeah.
I could do with a day out.
Dad!
What?
He just missed Kevin Exham. He says someone's run into his boat and given it a knock. So he's sorry, but Saturday's off.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, I was just starting to look forward to that.
So, do you feel up to telling us your name yet? We can't keep calling you Miss What's-her-name now, can we?
Do you live round here?
I need to fill in some records for you.
I need to let someone know you're...
How long have you been losing hair like that? Why don't we let you get some rest? And we'll come back and see if you feel like talking in the morning.
I'm sorry to trouble you this late, Doctor.
Okay, let's get you on the bed.
He got up from the milk and he just keeled over. I couldn't get him back to the house. I just about managed to get into the car. I'm sorry, I didn't know what else to do.
Oh, that's okay. And when did this come on?
Well, I have no idea. 1 minute he's right as rain. Next thing I looked, he's down on the floor and he's all shaking. He's burning up.
He's not eating anything unusual?
Chicken pie and potatoes. Nothing what I haven't had as well.
No vomiting, no diarrhea?
No.
So it's unlikely to be food poisoning.
What is it?
I'm not sure yet. You'd run a temperature like this with scarlet fever, but there's no rash. Could be typhoid, I suppose.
Typhoid? My husband does not have typhoid. I run a spotless farm.
I'm sure you do, but I did notice a well pump in your yard as I was leaving. Sometimes a water supply can be
I have
contaminated.
scrubbed down my dairy twice a day for 30 years with water from that well.
Sure you have.
And my cheese won a silver medal at the county show this year. And nobody else has got fever, have they?
I'm sure you're right, but I'm going to take a blood sample just to be on the safe side. My priority now is to get this fever down.
He's got to be all right, isn't he?
Good morning.
Good morning, Sebastian. Back again?
Well, I wanted to see someone yesterday, but we were all prefabricated, weren't we?
What?
Well, very busy with the poor little girl.
Oh, right. So, what can we do for you today?
Well, I fear that I am turning into a werewolf. It makes talking, but walking. It makes walking most difficult.
Right, and when did you last cut your toenails?
I can't remember. I was last down there, I suppose. Can you help?
Don't worry. I know someone who's very good with nails.
Well, the fever's gone completely.
Feel as if I've gone 10 rounds with Cassius Clay, but apart from that...
And the aches and pains?
I'm used to that.
Well, I must confess, I'm at a bit of a loss. But I didn't like the look of that fever, so I'm going to run some more tests.
You've had half my blood already.
It's not just your blood I want to test.
There. And a bath every now and then would help keep the nails a bit softer. Sebastian? Sebastian?
My dear, how very relaxing. Thank you so much. Ooh, how pretty.
Well, the good news is the doctors say it's not ringworm. Some form of alopecia. Probably alopecia areata. She looks like she's been losing hair for some time now. And the bad news? We can't get a word out of her.
Oh, dear.
How old is she? 15? If that. More like 13, I'd say. Her parents must be worried sick about her. Probably. She may not have any parents. She may have run away from a children's home. Either way, if she's under 16, I still have to inform the police.
Hold on.
Mr. Rose, just want to say thanks for what you've done for Paul. And well, I'm sorry if I were a bit sharp yesterday. I was just anxious.
You'd be a fool if you weren't. Anyway, that's the chap you should be thanking. Good day.
Thanks. Oh, I didn't get a chance to properly thank you for yesterday. I don't know what we'd have done without you.
Well, no, it's all part of the job.
If there's anything I can do, you know, to show me gratitude.
Well, I did ruin a perfectly decent pair of trousers.
But I'll replace them.
No.
Was without saying.
No.
What I meant was some type of reward.
Oh, well. No. Not unless you've got a fishing boat we could hire.
No, I don't, sorry.
No, I thought that.
But I know someone who might have.
Is that much better? It can't be typhoid. I told you so.
Yes, you did, but I'd still like to take a sample of the water for analysis.
There is nothing wrong with the water on my farm.
Sebastian, how are you today?
Very much better than when I came home, thank you. And your angels has just given me a very nice impediment. And apart from a touch of the old microscope on the chest, I have as many of God's blessings as I desert.
And what's in the cup?
Tea.
Not the cheap sherry, then?
Heaven forfend.
And the police can't help at all.
They've no reports of any missing young girls. They've checked boarding schools, children's homes, other hospitals.
And maybe she's not from around here.
Possibly. Or perhaps it's just that no one cares. I'll keep trying.
We've gone to so much trouble to all get Saturday off together.
Well, I'm sure the chap will help you if he possibly can. Excuse me. Come on, Sebastian. No, perfectly well, Mitch, we'll have your guts for garters if she finds you napping. Come on. Wakey, wakey.
Is he okay?
I don't know. Sebastian? Ken, would you be so kind as to go and fetch a trolley, please?
What's the matter?
Poor old chap's dead.
I'll call matron.
Oh, don't mind me,
You
lass.
can't get up unless a doctor says so.
What's going on here, then?
I shouldn't be here. There's cows need milking and mucking, silage to be cut.
It's okay, Nurse Beaumont, thank you. Well, frankly, it doesn't look like you'd make it to the end of the corridor before you keel over.
I'm just tired. I'll be fine.
Come on, back into bed. You're not going anywhere until we find out what's wrong with you and start doing something about it.
Is he being difficult?
Well, no, not really.
Now you relax and do what you're told. Now, I've done the milking and sent it off. I've mucked the byre and I've scrubbed the parlour. They've been fed and watered. And young Billy Hathersley is coming in first thing tomorrow morning to cut the lower 10.
You must be exhausted.
I wouldn't say no to a sit down.
Here. Oh. Sorry. I'll leave you to it. Your test results should be back later on, so I'll keep you informed.
Oh, that reminds me. Now, before you go, I didn't mean to snap earlier. It's very good of you to go to all this trouble for us. And so I've brought you a little sample of my home farm Netherdale by way of thanks.
A little sample.
Oh, go on. You're a growing lad.
I didn't see it. I saw all the signs, but I didn't put two and two together.
What signs?
The slurring of his speech, using slightly the wrong words all the time. I mean, he was an educated man. It wasn't as if he didn't know the right words.
We're talking about a stroke.
I think he probably had a series of little strokes, leading finally up to the one that killed him.
And I thought he was just a bit tipsy.
Yes, well, we all do that, don't we? Illness is for people with homes. Vagrants just get drunk. I'm not criticising you, staff. We all make the same assumptions. Any luck with the identification?
Not a whistle.
So, what are we going to do with him?
Well, we need to notify the coroner, and, well, we just need to find out who he was. If there was any next of kin. Until we've done that, he'll have to stay here.
Hang on a sec. What's this?
Do you think he nicked him from someone?
No. No, I saw him chase an old woman once with a threepenny bit she dropped.
Well, if they were his, he certainly was someone.
Looks perfectly all right to me.
But it will need replacing soon. Now, if we put it on our maintenance budget now, we...
Oh, sorry.
And what is that?
Home farm Netherdale cheese.
Is it, by Jove?
Oh, would you like to try some?
Have a look.
From one of my patients.
That's beautiful. Yes, that should be all right in a couple of days.
If we could get on, Mr. Middleditch.
Yes, of course.
That is a hospital fridge, Doctor.
You still have a great deal to learn, Dr. Goodwin. One never puts a fine cheese in a refrigerator.
Right, we recognise the war medal.
Yes, everybody got that one.
And we think that's the 3945 star.
Getting quite commonplace. Oh, Pacific Star. Africa Star, these are campaign medals. Atlantic Star, that puts him in the Navy. Mr. Dolan.
This.
Good Lord above.
Don't you recognise it?
I do indeed, but I've only ever seen it in photographs.
Can I see it?
Handle it with care, staff nurse. That is the DSO, the Distinguished Service Order. Awarded to officers.
Officers?
For, as you might imagine, distinguished service.
Really?
When the Victoria Cross wasn't appropriate, and they didn't dish them out like aspirin. As I say, handle it with care.
Well, she's not eaten much, but she has eaten. And she has slept, which is all to the good.
Now then, my dear, we'd like you to help us if you can. We've had a call from the police asking us to look out for a missing girl, about your age, called Sally Bain. She's not in any trouble, but everyone's very anxious that she's all right. Now, I need to tell the police whether or not Sally is safe in our ward or whether they should keep searching. Can you help us with that? Sally? I'll tell them you're safe.
What I want to know is, what's so very bad about being Sally Bain?
Okay, well, thanks very much. Yeah, okay, bye.
Well?
The lab says that if all drinking water was as good as the home farm spring, we'd all be a lot healthier and the world would be a better place.
And the blood tests?
John Briers has no typhoid, no malaria, no scarlatina, no food poisoning, no nothing.
I don't want to say I told you so, but...
Do you really think it's psychosomatic?
No, that's not what I said. I said it looked like a classic case of depression.
Well, could you go and see him and do a psychiatric assessment?
Of course.
Thanks.
It could have waited till tomorrow.
No, it couldn't. Our daughter needs us now. You spent enough time fiddling with that wretched car, you might as well put it to some good use.
We could have caught the train.
Don't be ridiculous.
Here we are. You're welcome.
Sally, darling, are you all right?
Do you know how much trouble you've caused?
Arnold, this is not the time. What have you done to your hair?
Nothing. It just happened.
Of course it didn't just happen. Your mother may be stupid enough to believe...
Thank you, Arnold. That is exactly the sort of attitude...
Stop it! Stop it! Mr. and Mrs. Bain?
What's the matter with her? Why have you cut off her hair? What's the matter with her?
Dr. Wetherell would like to see you. If you want to follow me.
All I ever wanted to do, really, farming.
A lot of hard work, though.
Never hurt a body like me. Out in the good fresh air. Every season has its rewards, even winter.
Do you ever feel perhaps a bit isolated up there on the Dale?
Aye, it's grand. You can hear a skylark from a mile off, and the sunsets we get through the kitchen window.
But a hard living all the same.
If you're fussy, I suppose. But with good food on the table, good fire in the hearth, can't ask more than that.
Your wife did mention to Dr. Goodwin that she thought you were sometimes a bit depressed.
Maybe a bit recently. These pains, this weariness, stops me from doing the things I love doing. I know Mary's right, we've got to retire sometime. But the thought of leaving the farm, that's depressing.
Aye. I know Harold Barden. Well, he said you sometimes let your boat out for a day's fishing. It's been known. Well, how much do you charge? How much have you got? See, he gave me your name because I did him a favour. I saved his boy's life and that. All right. Well, he usually goes out for 30 quid. 30 quid? We haven't got 30 quid. Come on. On the other hand, Harold said he'd cover it. So when do you want to go? Would Saturday be all right?
Do go through. Have a seat. Oh, Lucy, I've got Sally Bain's parents here. Could you give me 5 minutes alone with them and then come and join us? Sure, if you think I'll be of any help. I've been wrong about most things today.
Why is she in hospital if it's only tonsillitis? That's not serious, is it?
Well, I think it was made worse by the fact that she hadn't eaten for a couple of days.
I assume we can take her home?
Well, I think it'd be better to keep her in until she's over the worst of it.
Of course. We'll stay here with her.
Don't be absurd. I have a board meeting 9 o'clock Friday morning.
And you go to your meeting and I'll stay up here with Sally.
Lucy, come in. Mr. and Mrs. Bain, this is Dr. Klein. She's also been involved in Sally's case. Hello. Right, now what I'd like to do is have a chat with you about Sally's alopecia.
No, I'm afraid you've come through to the hospital secretary's office. But I dare say I can find Dr. Ormerod for you. Who shall I say is calling? Good gracious.
Alopecia areata is often found in young adults and adolescents.
Is it infectious?
Not at all.
She's always had such lovely hair. Will it grow back?
The short answer is probably. The long answer is because no one really knows what causes it in the first place. I can't say for certain.
Well, that's no help, is it?
What I can say is this form of alopecia is sometimes associated with emotional upheaval or disturbance.
My daughter is not mad.
That's not what she said.
I heard perfectly well what she said, thank you.
I think perhaps Dr. Klein was wondering if you could maybe shed some light on what may be troubling your daughter.
And all things being equal, you can chuck him out at the end of the week, matron.
Thank you.
Dr. Ormerod, you have a telephone call in my office. From the Admiralty.
Ah, yes. Thank you.
Could anyone tell me why the Admiralty is calling one of my doctors?
Yes. We may have someone that used to belong to them.
I assure you that we have only our daughter's best interests at heart.
We have our differences, of course. But we'd never let Sally be aware of them.
I can hear them. Night after night. Downstairs with the door shut. Snarling and shouting. I hate it.
Is that why you ran away?
Well, the fact that she ran away must tell us something.
But what? She's got everything she could want. She must know that we love her.
Of course I know they love me. It's just that they seem to hate each other so much.
Well?
Lieutenant Commander Sebastian Fox Kirby, RN, awarded the Distinguished Service Order in 1943 for staying to rescue the crew of the torpedoed frigate Antigone whilst under enemy fire on his own ship, the Lemuria.
That was our tramp.
Do we have a next of kin?
No, but it's not a very common name, so it shouldn't be hard to trace.
I have some free time this afternoon. I can make some inquiries.
Thanks.
A great many young men never came home from the war. But thanks to Sebastian, there are a few more who did. Seems the least I can do.
Can we try and bring the fever down with some damp towels?
Goodness, that came on quickly.
About 10 minutes ago.
Problems?
Main one being I've got a sick man there and I haven't got a clue what's wrong with him. Have you looked at his nose?
Briefly, you've run all the tests.
Barring Amazonian swamp fever, yes.
Have you done a home visit?
Spotless. They eat the same hygienic food off identically hygienic plates.
That's odd.
Well, it's got me beat, I'll tell you that. I don't suppose...
What?
Well, I don't suppose you could go up there and see if anything occurs to you. I've missed something, but for the life of me, I can't think what.
OK.
With respect, Miss Fox Kirby, the fact that you seem to be the only surviving relation does make it something to do with you. There are funeral arrangements to be made, and... Well, I could, if you're sure that's what you... Very well. I'm sorry to have troubled you. Good day. Hussy.
Strong words, matron.
I've just tracked down Sebastian's great niece. She says She hasn't seen him for 20 years and she has no desire to have anything to do with him now. She would like his valuable medals passed on to her, of course, but apart from that, she couldn't care less what happens to his body.
Hello? Are you in? Mrs. Bryers?
In the cow shed! She's still... it's you. I was expecting the vet.
Sorry. I'm afraid I only deal with two-legged animals. How is she?
She's just lost her calf.
Oh, dear. I'm sorry.
I just wish I knew why. I mean, it does happen, but usually means they're ailing for something.
Have any of the others aborted their calves?
No. I've only got the 4 youngsters and calf at all. Such high hopes, too.
What do you mean?
Well, that new bull we used, he was pedigree and everything. I really wanted to improve the milk and stock.
Hold on. Sorry. You're saying this milk is what you use for your cheese making? That doesn't go for pasteurisation?
Yes, of course. No, it can't be. I've never had disease in my herd before.
Well, you've never used that bull before either.
I can't believe it.
Look, the vet will be here shortly, I'm sure. He'll be able to tell you more than I can. But I do think that you ought to prepare yourself for the possibility that you have brucellosis on the farm. And very possibly in your husband.
The vet called me first thing this morning. It's confirmed in the herd.
I see. Right, well, the next thing to do is to take a blood sample from your husband and you and test for brucella.
I just don't see how it can be brucellosis. I mean, John and I share all the work. If he's got it, then I'd have it too, wouldn't I?
Well, you think so, with you both drinking the milk and handling the animals. Could you just roll up your sleeve, please? Thank you. The thing is, the most common form of transmission is from unpasteurised milk and cheese.
Yeah, but you can't make decent cheese from stuff that's been treated. I learned that at my mother's knee.
Mm. You've been doing it for that long, have you?
No, since I was 5.
Could Mrs. Bain have a word with you, please, sister?
Of course she can. Come on in. I didn't sleep last night. Well, it's been a very worrying time for you, but you've got Sally back safe and sound now.
No, that isn't it.
Sister, yesterday the doctor said that Sally's alopecia could be caused by tensions in our family. I dismissed it at first, but now... Well, I wondered if she'd said anything to you. The thing is, Mrs. Bain, she hears raised voices behind closed doors. She doesn't know what's going on and it frightens her. She's heard us. She thinks you hate each other. And it really is making her ill. Maybe. Everybody fights now and then. Perhaps if she could see you making friends again, she'd find it reassuring. Last night, Arnold and I had a long talk. Seeing the state that Sally's in has made us both stop and think. And what you've said, it just confirms it. We can't go on like this anymore. Good. So I'll stay up here with you until you're better, and Daddy'll go on back home.
This is not easy to say, Sally, but your mother and I both feel that life would be a little easier for all of us if I were to move out.
What?
And not far. Perhaps one of those nice flats in Grange Road. We'd see each other as often as we wanted.
You're getting divorced?
Well, we haven't really thought that far ahead, but we all need some peace. And you need to get better.
Can't get divorced.
Anyway, the tests do show brucella, so I've notified the Ministry of Agriculture and sent out a warning to all the vets in the area.
Should we be expecting more cases here, do you think?
No, I shouldn't have thought so. Once word gets around, it's fairly easy to avoid.
Well, yes, time we were off, matron.
You can't come with us, Dr. Ormerod?
I'm afraid not. I'm just too busy.
Dr. Goodwin and Mr. Rose are in theatre. Seems so sad. Such a glorious life as Sebastian should end like this. Crematorium, far from home, and no one to see him off except 2 relative strangers.
Does his niece wish to have the ashes?
Apparently not. Only the medals.
Your blood shows high levels of the brucella antibodies, which means that you've built up an immunity to the disease.
But why hasn't John?
Well, as you told Dr. Ormerod, you've never had the disease on your farm, which means that he's never been exposed to it. But if you had been exposed to small amounts of the bacterium since you were a child, making cheese with your mother, then you'd have built up an immunity to this way before you've met. Which reminds me.
What?
I need a list of all the people that you've sold this batch of cheese to.
Well, I haven't sold it to anyone. It wasn't quite ripe enough. There's just that lump I gave to that nice young doctor.
Doctor?
Ken. Have a word.
Hi.
Look, about your day out.
Yeah?
Could you do me a favour?
Why do you want to come fishing with us?
Gordon, have you seen Jeff Goodwin anywhere?
He just came through here, said something about making himself a sandwich.
Is there a problem?
Possibly.
Oh, hello.
Jeff, you know that cheese?
Well, I think you'll find that it's infected with Brucella abortus.
I could spit it out of your anti-gel. It'll help you sleep.
No, it won't.
How are you feeling?
Why did you have to tell them?
What?
About me being ill and how it was their fault. Now they're getting divorced and it's my fault.
Oh, Sally, sweetheart. It's not.
You could have kept it a secret.
Well, now, that's what your mum and dad thought was for the best, didn't they? Keeping things secret. Just remember how much you hated that.
I didn't.
Oh, you did. Our bodies have a way of telling the truth, whether we like it or not.
What's going to happen now?
Well, one thing's for sure. Your mum and dad are going to go on loving you every bit as much as they ever have. And you're going to go on loving them. The difference is that it might all be a bit easier for you all to show it.
But they won't be together.
Well, some say that it's being together that makes people hate each other. Separate them for a bit and they might start to like each other again. Do you ever think of that?
Yes, I have. When I used to listen to Dad shouting at Mum, I'd lie there and think, why don't you just go? But now it's really going to happen.
Wishes don't make things come true, Sally. You didn't cause any of this. Your job now is to get better and to help your parents through this and show them that you love them both the same and that you don't blame either of them.
I thought nuns didn't approve of divorce.
I'll tell you what nuns don't approve of, and that's their patients being awake at, heavens above, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Night-night.
Sleep well.
Well, we're pretty sure the tetracycline should do the trick. I can only apologise that I didn't spot it sooner.
I feel bad, Doctor. We've been dairy farming for 30 years. And we didn't recognise it either, did we?
You know, you should really think about getting some help on the farm.
We're giving it up.
What?
Well, I may be stubborn, but I'm not stupid. What with one thing and another. We'll keep the dairy and a dozen milkers.
4. John has said 4.
Aye, all right.
Well, I'll let you know when I start producing cheese again, then, will I?
Yes, that'd be lovely. Thank you.
Come in.
Did you want to see me, Mr. Middleditch?
Ah, yes. Briefly, before you all set off. Now then, I've had a couple of anonymous letters.
Really?
Completely mad, of course, making all sorts of bizarre allegations about various members of the staff. And you, I'm afraid, in particular.
Oh, no.
Now, look, don't worry. I'm only bothering to tell you this now because some deluded soul may wish to make trouble for you, and I thought you ought to be warned.
And what are they saying?
Yes, here we are. That smarmy Dr. Ormerod has fallen into the clutches of the drink-sodden Wetherell. He's been having an affair with her for months. That's why he murdered his wife, so that he could be with her. If you are too weak to deal with the matter, I shall be forced to report it to the police myself. Rest assured, Gordon, we shall deal with this nonsense. Is something the matter? Gordon, these allegations are all so much nonsense, aren't they?
Not another anonymous letter.
Nothing that can't be dealt with. When are you off?
Just waiting for Mr. Rose. We're meeting the others there.
Well, you'll forgive me if I don't join you, I hope. Tommy is apt to play up a bit on these occasions.
Of course. Oh, probably Mr. Rose now.
Well, come along then. Time and tide.
When the day is done, down to earth and sinks the sun, along with everything that was lost and won. When the day is done, when the day is done, hope so much your race will be all run. Then you find you jumped the gun, have to go back where you began. When the day is done, when the night is cold, some get by, but some get old, just to show life's not made of gold. When the night is cold, when the bird is flown, got no one to call your own, got no place to call your home. When the bird has flown.
He was a hero of the sea and a true gentleman of the road. We all enjoyed his visits with us, and I know we would have all wished to have known him better and sooner. Keep on travelling, Sebastian. And God bless you, sir.
Now there's no time to start anew. Now the part is through. When the day is done, down to earth and sinks the sun, along with everything that was lost and won.
Oops. Eternal Father, strong to save, whose arm doth bind the restless wave, who bids the mighty oceans deep its own appointed limits keep. Oh, hear us when we cry to thee, for those in
You do realise you're leaving us short-handed?
There's not much I can do about that, Mr. Harper.
She's going to be all right, isn't she?
Detective Inspector Shiner would like to interview you. He's investigating the death of Caroline Ormerod.
Then if he's not my son, whose is he?
I'd like us to look for a new home together.